guys. We're going to put the side cover on today. Nothing too exciting about that. First of all, we're going to put the oil pump back on. It's cleaned. Put a little dab of this grease stuff on here. I think I know that's going to come flying out of there. I was thinking about shooting some two-stroke inside there, but I think it's going to come right out because I got to turn it upside down. So let's see here. What do we want to do? I didn't notice any oil coming out of it, so we'll just put it back on. There's no O-ring or anything on here. Make sure that gasket's lined up down there at the bottom. Looks good. That'll blind you. And these do not need to be like super tight. Just tighten them up. Okay, so we had a long one at the bottom, I believe, and then we had the really, really long one in the top, or inside the case. The rest of them are all short, so let's go ahead and put a little bit of our grease around the gasket surface here. And the other reason I'm doing this is because if you got to take it off, which I probably stated before, it helps from tearing it. You know, gaskets sticking really bad. You don't need a whole lot. Just, you know, kind of put a little bit on your finger and kind of rub it around. And if you get too much, just spread it around. Now I'll wipe any excess off once I get the case on. I'm hoping this bracket that I'm using to hold this engine does not get in the way of this. It looks like it might. Sorry, I'm going to get my big head in the way here. I need to see if that is going to hit that housing. I know, my big head's in the way. Let's see here. Well, yeah, that's going to be close. I don't want to nick that. Let me see if it's hitting it. Looks like it may be. See if I can just loosen this bolt. Maybe. Just need to move it for a little bit so I can get this cover on. We'll get it past that and tighten it back down. And of course it's moving on the other side. Okay, let's see if that'll get me enough room to... Looks like it's still just barely touching it. It's on. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right, well, let's try. Let's put this bottom screw in. See if it draws it up. And we're going to put this really long one inside the case. Yeah, it looks like it's clearing it. I just cleaned the heads up a little bit on the prime wheel. Oh, it's about to get super cold here in Indiana. Today is the 22nd, and it is supposed to get down to like -5 tonight. Joy. Super excited about that. And the gasket fits okay. It kind of hangs out the edge of the case a little bit, but it fits. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tighten these up. I'm not going to smack them with the impact yet. I'll pour some oil in here, make sure this gasket's sealing good before I give it a good whack. Alright, then we got the oil feed line with the 2 fiber washers. I did order a kit of... Oh man, you know what I forgot to do, guys? Good thing I caught that. Forgot to put the oil feed line on. You're probably sitting there saying, "Hey Greg, you're missing something." Yeah, I was. Yeah, see, that gasket stuff worked just perfect. Okay, so let's put our little clamp on our hose. Move our little clamper thing down so I can walk this onto here. I just decided to go with the Motion Pro stuff, hose, tubing. I hope that that clamp that I've got on here isn't too big. The ears, I mean. Actually, that. Yep, there it goes. Okay, so we got that. Kind of want to make sure that it's not going to be in the way of anything. Look down in there. Yep, looks like it's going to clear. And that looks good. Alright. Happy with that. Okay, now I got to get that fiber washer behind this tube here. Which is kind of tricky. I'll break the tube. I can't see. I think I got it on there. We'll put that back in. And I think that was the 8mm. I'm just tightening it by hand. I don't want to get it too tight and then have it snap. Okay, so that looks good. We will check the gap, which I need to look at the specs. As you can see where I'm moving my thumb, you can see this thing pop up. So it is actually moving up. That looks good. I know they're getting a little bit of grease on it, but okay. So that is one side cover that we have done. The other one, that's going to wait because I still need to, well, yeah, that'll wait for a long time because that'll go on last. I'm waiting for, here's the coil right here. This wire is in really rough shape. You can see right there, it's got a big crack in it. So I got some coil wire coming, which probably won't be here until after Christmas. So we'll put a new wire on there. I've already got a cap. I've got another cap coming. And that is the side cover. I'm going to put some oil down in here. I'll just double check, make sure it's not leaking anything. And missed some gunk down inside there. I didn't paint on the inside of here. And that should be it, guys, for this, at least just for the side cover. And this, hopefully that's enough hosing to go up to the oil tank. I cut it as long as what was on there, but worst case, we can always take this right back off and put a longer piece of hose on it, so that's no big deal. All right, so I'll be back in a little bit on to something else. I did want to mention that the points gap is at 13, so that's good. I wasn't, in the other video you seen where it was getting spark, I kind of wasn't getting spark, so I used my points tool and just opened these up, cleaned them, and sprayed them with some electrical contact cleaner. So I just kind of wanted to explain that. I still, this on the top here, these are the colors. We have black, which is ground, and I gotta look at that paper. But this, if you look at the side of the case there, I'm hopefully not showing up, there's a letter M. F, A, and M. I, F, A, and M. So I believe is ignition. I forget what the F, the green and the white are. But this other color is kind of like a mustard color, and I don't see that cable over there. And I don't know what the M is for. So I don't know, guys. I got to research that. But once I find out, then I'll post it up here. I just wanted to let you know that, yeah, the spark gap was good. Points gap was good, and the points were just a bit dirty, but once I cleaned them up, it had great spark, as you see in that video. So be back with the next thing. Oh, and I did want to get some clarification. I did get hold of Dale, and he said that that piece right there that you're looking at, and I zoomed in on this here, is for the shift mechanism on the other side, and there's no oil or anything in there. That would just have to, if I ever had to split the case, that would have to come off. So I'm leaving it as it is. So just get some clarification on that, and I think that's it for the moment. So back in a minute. Okay, guys, we got the coil right here. A little crusty looking, not too horrible, but I'm going to take that, and this is the bracket for it, and this bracket is definitely crusty on this side. Now I'm going to take it over my prime wheel and clean it up, and here is our bad wire. So I'm waiting for this to come in so we can make up a new cable for it. So I'll be back in a minute. Alright, here is the coil, all cleaned up, and wiped it off with alcohol, so I'm ready to paint. And if you notice, it says right here, diamond 12 volt. Good to know if you ever need a replacement coil. And I cleaned up, buffed up this piece here. Turned out pretty decent, so now I'm just going to warm up the garage a little bit, and I'll just shoot some black paint on the coil and some silver paint onto the bracket that holds it in place, and back in a flash. Alright, guys, got the coil done, got it painted. I just used VHT epoxy paint, and then for the silver part I just used this Krylon Pro I had laying around. It's silver. So turned out pretty good. Pretty happy with how it looks. So alright, next thing we need to do is just cut a section of this coil cord, and we're going to measure here how long we need. Now what I am going to have to get is another piece of rubber to go over this hose. So I don't think I have anything here that will suffice for that. I'm looking over there in my pile of hose, and I don't see anything. So yeah, I'll probably end up having to buy something, or I'll take a measurement, put it in my phone next time I'm at Lowe's. You know, maybe I'll see if they've got any rubber hosing. This is just standard 7mm coil cord. Got it at 4:1. They sell a bunch of Honda parts, older Honda parts. So I'm gonna cut it just a tad long. Okay, then we'll take this little rubber grommet doohickey that was on there. I am using this NGK LB05EP. It is a resistor. So I'm going to put this on the end here. Try to put it on the end. We'll measure how far down in we got to go. Well, we always slide it down. Guess I need to learn how to cut a straighter line. and it just screws in. Oh crap, I forgot that. Gotta put the end of the plug on that thing there. This cap part I'm going to wait until I get the inside at least cleaned out, painted somewhat, before I stick this coil back up into that tube, up inside the frame. And you just kind of turn it around, screw it in, it'll stop. Eventually. What the heck, man? Not biting into there. Oh, let me smush the end of it a little bit. See if maybe the side cuts had mangled it just a hair. Yeah, these are just screw-on types, because when I cut the original cable, I just screwed it back down on there. Yeah, I think it's biting now. No, it's not. What the heck? Unless there's a old piece of wire wrapped around that coil tip. Which I can't really tell. I'm looking down in there. Doesn't look like there is. Let's cut back a section of this old stuff, which unfortunately I can't use it because it's got a bunch of cracks in it. And let's compare the two. Well, it looks like it's the same. See if this one starts to thread in. This is the original wire. Yeah, that bites pretty much immediately. Okay, so why is this new cable not? I wonder if it has to do with, see, this is not really jacketed on the inside, and if you look at this one, it's got that white insulation stuff in there, and I wonder if that's keeping it from doing what it's got to do. Let's give it a good push. See if I can get it to screw down in there. No, man. All right. Hold on a minute. I'm going to pause this and see what the deal is. Okay, what I ended up doing, I just could not get it to bite and start threading. So I took the cap and I started screwing that in, just opened that hole a little bit, and then I was able to get it started. So we'll just put the cap back on here. And we are good to go. The only thing I need to put back on is the actual piece that holds it in place. I'll put these things back in the box here because I don't want to lose them. Like I said, I gotta figure out how I'm going to sand out the inside of that cavity. Whoa, losing parts. I'll stick that back in the box with my stuff. See if I can get this tubing to go over this thing, because this looks like it's molded. Actually, it might not be. Or it's melted onto the one end. I might be able to just cut this off and see if we can. Yeah, that wire is old. Yeah, it looks like it's molded onto the end of it, but let's see here. Might be able to salvage this. Look at that. Got that right out of there. Okay, so if we take that end. Alright, I'm going to have to lube this thing up or something in order to get this to slide down in there. Let's see here. What can I use? I'm thinking here. Shot down inside the tube with a PB Blaster. Just get it lubricated. Okay, so that's on. All right, and I can reposition it as needed. So, okay, we are done with that piece. And honestly, guys, I don't even know why I really bothered to paint this thing, but it didn't. You can't even see it, so I don't know. I guess it was just kind of bugging me. And that's what ends up happening is I start doing all this stuff, and then it starts looking better than I had expected, which then prompts me to restore it further. Get these little screws on here. So that's what happens. One thing leads to another, and then you end up doing a lot more restoration than you wanted to. I did mark a little dot. I don't know if you can see it. It's right there where my thumb is, where this part stuck out. Question is I don't remember. Yeah, I really don't remember which. I think I had it like that. Nah. I'll have to look back at the picture and see. I don't think it matters. If you put it in one side, it's going to stick up farther inside the tube, which I can always take it back off and reposition if I need to. Okay, make sure I got my thing towards the center there. I just moved the engine over there to where I store the coffee beans for now. Guys, it's going to be a while before I get that thing put in the frame. Alright, so there we go. It's done, minus the cap on the end where the spark plug goes. And we'll call that done. So, be back with something else here in a minute. Alright guys, we're going to do a little experiment here. These are the bolts for the triple tree and the forks. And we got some side bolts down here, right there, and we got some screws here. I'm gonna take a few of these off, and I've got some of this. This is actually a combination of two things: the Evapor Rust and Rust Blast. So you can see by these heads here, these things are pretty gnarly. So we're just gonna take a few of them off, drop them in, let them sit. I'll probably let these things sit overnight. Then we'll take them off, and I'm going to see how well this stuff actually does work on some things. I've used it before on other things, and it seems to work okay. These shocks they're beyond fixing. They're really, really rough. So anyway, I'm going to take these off. We're going to set them in here, and we'll look at the results tomorrow. So back in a minute. All right, guys, we'll make a little noise here. What I'm going to do is I kind of hit it a little bit with some 220. And pardon me, but I'm putting a mask on here. And you can see it's pretty smooth here. This is really rough. So this is 220 on my little handy dandy sander here. Uh-oh. Mangled my sandpaper. Alright, so you can see what I'm trying to do is knock all these rust bubbles out and make it smooth. Smooth enough to where I can prime it. And I'm just going to end up painting the tank. So that's what I'm going at with this, which I will not bore you guys with that whole process. But if we go over here to the bike, this frame is kind of in the same situation. Let me back you up here. You know, like especially like along the top here, it's pretty rusted. So let's see how well this 220 gets this off. It's doing a fine job. So I will keep having this process on this tank. It's going to take me a while to get this thing sanded down, but then underneath it, unfortunately, I can't get this tool, my sander, down thoroughly inside this part here. So I'm gonna have to do that, a lot of that by hand. And I did have this thing soaking with the rust blast on the inside, and I didn't notice any leaks. So that's good. Petcock, we'll do that in another video. I need to order the little round washer with the 4 holes in the inside of it, you know, because it's leaking when you put it on reserve. So I'm sure that thing, I haven't taken it apart yet, but. So I got to get all this sanded, sanded smooth, get it clean, get all the peeling rust. There's some rust right there that has got up under the chrome. So I got to make sure I get all that flaky chrome off there. Get all that cleaned up. The side covers that were right here, those were shot. They were stuck in here so bad, and I tried heating them up with a heat gun, but they were all torn, ripped up anyway. So I will get this thing all sanded up and then come back and show you what it looks like. So be back in a bit. Okay, guys. All right. I took some 220, these Duragold discs that fit on my little 3-inch sander here. Got all the black off the top. I ended up hitting back here with 80 and then went over it with 220. A couple little dimples. You know, I have to put a little spot filler in. Still got to do this side. You can see how rusty it is still. All I'll do here is really coarse. This side over here, I've hit with the 220. I'll go over this by hand as well with my little pad here once I've got the bulk of this done. Now, underneath it, I don't know if you can tell, this is a little dirty, but got the bulk of the rust out of that. And yeah, you might want to invest in some of these, I forget what brand these are, Durablocks. They're great for, you know, because your flat pad doesn't want to get down in here, you know, so these are round, so it works really good for getting in there. I could probably stand a hit inside there with some 100 grit and get the bulk of the rust off that, and then come back with some 220. But I'll end up cleaning this off, obviously, once I'm done, and clean up really good. And I'm going to use some high-hide primer, or no, the rust converter primer. I'll put that on the inside of here, and still debating on what color I want to go with, because these bikes came in black, red, blue, and yellow. And the yellow looks like a very similar color to the Honda Express that I did, which was like a canary yellow. So I may end up going yellow, because I kind of like yellow. But so I'm still working on this. It's going to take a bit, but it's coming up pretty good. I don't think I'll get all this black off. I just want to get it off the top part, because that's more noticeable. you know, like in this part down here, obviously I'll sand it smooth, you know, and get it all cleaned up, and then shoot it with primer. So, and the paint that I'm going to use is going to be a acrylic enamel. I'm not going to use a base coat, clear coat. That's what I ended up using, the enamel on the Honda Express, and I really like the results of that and how it turned out. And then you ain't got to mess with clear coat and, you know, all the aggravation and hassle with clear. So making progress on it, guys. It's getting there. Hopefully when I come back, I'll have a little more process done, completed. And I might have to get these rubber little things that go in here. These are shot. And then there's one down here where my finger is. That one's pretty hard too. I got it off. These, I don't know, man. They got some like little rubber thing on the end of them, which is still intact. So I'm not going to try to take those off because it looks like they're like riveted in there or something. So, but so far so good. Making progress. So back in a minute. All right, got some sanding done, and here is the so far finished product. Still got to do a little bit more underneath here, not a whole lot. Ended up using 80 grit to get the black paint off. Then I followed it up with 220 on the rest of the tank, and it came out fairly decent. So ready for the touch up a little bit more underneath here. It looks pretty good, as good as it's probably pretty much going to get. Like I said, it's kind of hard to sand in there. Now, these here parts I had sitting in the Rust Blast, or a combination of Metal Rescue and Rust Blast. It's a little bit of the Evapo Rust. That the gas cap came out really pretty nice. I'm gonna go take it in the house real quick. I just wanted to set this stuff out here and show you guys, but that turned out pretty nice, really nice. Happy with that. These are the bolts, you know, for the triple tree. I didn't expect any miracle, and I did not get one, so these are gonna have to be cleaned up on my prime wheel and then polished, and then probably just have some silver paint put on them. I really don't want to go through the expense of trying to buy these nuts, you know, bolts, but these were in the frame. I'm just going to put these in the ultrasonic. The Rust Blast really did not do anything for them. And I don't even know what those things hold on. Honestly, I don't know. Then I think these two here, which are starting to form flash rust on, these are, I believe, for the seat bracket. So I'll take these in the house, clean them up, and then maybe tomorrow put them in the ultrasonic. So now what I'm going to start doing is go get me a bunch of Ziplocs and you know, baggies, start taking parts off and labeling them so I know what's what, get this thing apart. Yeah, I might have to take it all apart. We're supposed to be having some upper 50s and around 60-degree weather, so that'd be a good time to get everything off of it so I can get the pressure washer out and go to town on it and clean it up before I got to start sanding it and decide what color paint I'm going to go with. So I may throw this up. Yeah, I may throw this up because well, obviously I can do black. You know, that's a no-brainer. But I was also thinking about either red or yellow. I don't know what I'm going to do with the tank. I'm kind of waiting to hear from Dale to see how much he gets charged to chrome those tanks. I got a few other odds and ends I can do, you know, that could stand to be chromed. Most notably are those pieces right there that you're staring at. Those. I mean, I could throw in the... Yeah, I could sand up the headlight bucket. It's kind of pitted up. Throw that in. Yeah, I could probably go ahead and do the bars, which, you know, I think really, if I just yeah, go to Harbor Freight and get another couple containers of that Metal Rescue stuff, I could probably get away with just soaking the handlebar and not having it re-chromed. I'm not gonna worry about the shocks. I'm just gonna get new shocks anyway. Oh, and I got those canister pieces right here. There's 2 of those. I could put them in the metal rescue, clean them up. I don't know. And then I think that's it for the chrome stuff. So really the tank, the headlight bucket ring, and those 2 fork chrome pieces. I ain't gonna worry about the rims. They're actually not too bad a shape. They're decent enough. So, and worst case, just paint the whole tank one color. I did order some chrome vinyl to try. I'm upside down. Problem with the chrome vinyl is I need to cut it, or go to Walmart and get some construction paper and kind of lay it over here so I can kind of mark where these edges are, and that would be where this chrome stuff would go, and then use that, try to make a pattern, and then cut that out in a piece of 1/4-inch plywood, sand the crap out of it, make sure it's super smooth, and then lay 2 pieces down and cut them. And then I can cut up along here and tuck it up under. Same as inside here. You just have to go in because your pads go over top of this, and then your emblems go over this, so that would hide anything underneath. But yeah, that might be a challenge. But hey man, I'd give it a whirl. Yeah, I'm gonna do some more cleaning this tank. I took the petcock off and got it soaking over here in this metal rescue because there was a bunch of which I'll probably end up just putting in the ultrasonic, probably work better. But this filter right here, this filter sock, is pretty nasty, and it's pretty gummed up down inside there. If you can see that, it's pretty nasty. I think I'll just leave it out of there and put it in the ultrasonic and let it do its thing. So that's where we are at the moment. So I'm gonna start taking some parts off of this thing, like I said, and see where I get. I'm gonna have to move it over to the other side of the garage because I got to work on my nephew's car again. So I will start stacking pieces up over there, and then hopefully get it down to the frame. Figure out what I'm gonna do with the wiring. I know I'm gonna have to rewrap some of this stuff where it comes out of the body here, and somebody put duct tape on that. And this needs to be rewrapped from in here. And I need to follow where it goes through into here, and then rewrap it and run it back through. But of course I got to get the ears off, fork ears, headlight bucket, anything I want to paint. These things down here were painted, so those need to be cleaned up and repainted. And take those off. There are springs underneath here. See, there are springs right there. And I'm gonna have to see what kind of fork seals. That's nasty up inside there. I don't even know if those boots are attainable anymore. They're on here, rusty. I mean, not rusty, but I don't know how well they're going to sit up there. Maybe a zip tie or something over the top, a clamp. It looks like there was a lip. Yeah, there's a lip on the inside of these boots. It's kind of supposed to hold it over top of these fork things, but they're old, and I don't know. I'll deal with that when I cross that bridge. So anyway, yeah, let me commence to taking some stuff off here, and I'll be back in a minute. Let's commence to taking some parts off of this thing. I don't know if I'll record all of this, but we'll definitely get some of it, or I'll fast forward it because it's probably going to be kind of boring. Actually, I need, let's open up this headlight bucket. Or not. Man. Everything on this bike is rusted. going to end up having to get a bunch of replacement screws for things. And this headlight bucket is probably going to be one of them. That is just not cool. Hate when things don't go as planned, but good. Oh man, really flathead? I know I got a flathead here somewhere. What are you doing, Miss Daisy? And of course it's that screw right there is not wanting to cooperate. And where did I put my tiny little nippets? I threw them in my pocket. Yeah, that thing's kind of stripped. Got the Nipix to the rescue. Right there. I didn't turn my screen around, so I have no idea if you even just saw what I did. Got the sniffles. So, we're going to put a bag here. Put all these parts in them. We got a ground that's not connected for the headlight, and there's no bulb in there, so that's good. Yeah, I see you, Daisy. Sorry guys, she's knocking. She's marking the tripod. Okay, so what do we got here? We got a speedo cable. All the light bulbs are connected. We have a few wires disconnected. I don't know what they go to at the moment. We have a green wire cut off. Let me get my camera on my phone. Take a picture. They say it's worth 1,000 words. Okay, so we got a green light, green, yellow, and a black for the headlight. We've got a blue here that is not connected to anything. Let me take a picture in here. So I got a reference. It looks like these are all connected for the bulbs. So I will have to look at the wiring diagram to find out what is pink. We got a blue with a double female. We have a blue-white with a female, which might, I don't know. And we got a blue-white there, dark blue and white. We got another green, looks like a dark green, brown-white. We've got this, which is a brown. Yeah, and then this green was missing the end on it, the light green. which there is a light green that goes to the magneto/starter. Okay, well, some of this in here may be turn signals. They may have had the wires for the turn signals, but this bike was a 69 and they weren't required in the US at the time, so that may be some turn signal wires. I will have to look. So we just need to get the bucket off. And get some wiring disconnected. Okay, so this white goes to that white. And I'm sure some of these are going to break. See, there's a brown going to that light that is missing the end. I need to get these separated. They're stuck in there. What? Let's get some electronics cleaner. Spray it on some of these connectors. That way, hopefully it'll come apart a little bit easier. And stink up the garage. Actually, let me get another pair of small pliers. All right. I'll have to get these off here. I'm definitely going to have to fix some wiring in here. It's not horrible. You know, especially once you get it out of the headlight. All that wire is crusty and stiff. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay, well let's go ahead and take off the headlight bucket. What did I just do with the sockets? So, let's see here. Okay, so in the back here, coming from the handlebars, all that stuff. Get the camera again. All that stuff, well, I need to replace the things anyway, so, but those are the wires which need to be wrapped again. And that's where those came through. And I highly recommend you do the same thing when you're taking these bikes apart, so you know what went where. Let me see if I've got anything else connected in here. Yes, I do. We've got the... That's odd. Oh, okay, low beam and a high beam, I'm guessing. So that green went to that green, but then we have a yellow And it looks like a pink wire going to the yellow wire on the headlight thing. So that can come out now. And that is going on the left side of the bike as you're sitting on it. And we got this other set of wires in here, which are going to some of these lights. That might come out. Now, what else we got in here connected to that? Looks like nothing. Okay, that's going over to the right side of the bike. Then we got the speedo cable, which I need to disconnect. And that is coming through the bottom hole, no grommet. And then we should be able to pull out the wiring harness now, a couple at a time. Okay, headlight bucket is removed. And it's in pretty decent shape. I'm missing a light bulb in here, which would be for the H. I've got N, I guess neutral. F, C is, F is, I don't know what F is. C may be for charging, and H may be the high beam. So I'm missing, look in here, I'm missing this one right here. I don't know if I have one of those lying around. There's also another connector down there. I don't know, it looks like it's a bulb. I don't know what it goes to. Oh well, we'll find out. Okay, so we got that, we got that. I am just going to attempt to cut off that brake and clutch cable because I need new ones anyway. Well, let's see here. I may not have to yet. That is part of that assembly, and that is on how. Really? Of course. The horn needs to come off in order to get to that screw, which I don't even know if it's going to come off. Let's try the Nipix. Can't get a bite on it. Well, I'll tell you what. We will see if we can just cut that wire. And then take it off when I get to that point. So there's that. That is going down the brake. So that is off. Those go down to the center. This is the choke, which is routed through that hole there on the right side. Okay. We got a handlebar assembly off. That wasn't too horribly bad. All that needs to be, most of it needs to be replaced. I don't know what that was. That's probably one of the hoses or the cables. So that one goes through that hole, which is probably the clutch, I'm guessing. I'll throw that in a box, although I'm not keeping it. Okay, so I need to get the oh buddy, that is going to be rough. Yeah, those even come off. I did spray everything down with PB Blaster, but some of the stuff is really super rusted on. Well, that ain't gonna work. So let's see if we can just take it off from the front here. That looks to be maybe I don't know, 14 millimeter, maybe. It is indeed a 14 millimeter. Well, there are all my sockets. Okay, so I need another bag for these. Well, this ain't the right front fender anyway. Not that I can't clean it up and use it. I can. But that'll definitely make it easier to get the, you know what I'm thinking, bolts out. Okay, So I better mark my bags before I forget. This is headlight. So we got that headlight. And we got front fender. I think okay, so we do front fender. Make these ones come off. I don't think we got loose yet, though. Alright, so if we go ahead and take we can, how do we want to approach this? Take off the whole fork assembly as one unit, or take off the wheel, which I guess we can. Make it fall backwards. So, alright, let me, actually I may leave this here for the time being. And take off the engine guard. Attempt to take off the engine guard, the foot peg, leave the center stand on for the time being. I still got to take off the air canister, the oil injection. I'll leave the triple tree bolt in there for the time being. I got to make another bag and put the screws in there so I don't misplace those, forget where they are. Then we can assess the back of the bike, take the back wheel, well, we can take the shocks off, we can take the rear fender out, and then kind of see what we're left with. I know we got the whole brake pedal assembly over here, and we got to get the horn out, then we'll have to get that screw out. So yeah, let me get me something to drink and be back.